Can you hear me now? Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. Okay. How's that? Can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so, I don't know, tech stupid, I would say. So, can you hear me now? Yeah. Can you hear me now? Anything? It says it's working. I wonder why it's not working. Can you hear me? Sorry, guys. Can you hear me? How's that? Okay. Can you hear that? Okay, can you hear me? Is it still crackling? I'm sorry. Okay, let's try that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear that, Will? I can see the chat. Sorry, Will, that you had to take your headphones off. Like I said, I'm just learning this, so it said my microphone was working fine. Is the crackling better now? Or can you not hear me again? Can you hear me now? That is so strange. Okay, try that. Can you hear that? Okay. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can fix this. I'm so sorry, guys. Gotta know. Leave it to me. Okay. Let me try this. Okay, can you hear me now? With any, is it clear? Oh my gosh. Any little noise. Okay. Any little bitty noise. Okay. That is so sensitive. I'm gonna have to be more careful with it. Okay. Good. I'm so sorry. I apologize, guys. Can you hear me good, Cement? This is amazing, I'm telling you. Okay. Thomas Tillery was he was my son's best friend, and I'm just going to go ahead and read you the articles that I do have on him. I have saved all of these all these years, and I did talk to the detective today, and I got an update, but there's not much in the case going on. Okay. It's he went to the store on September 19th, 1994, and he never returned home. It's more than 16 years after portions of a skull were found in Durwood Road Yard in Dixon, Oklahoma. The remains have been identified as 11-year-old child reported missing from the deal. Cherokee Ballard, public information officer for the state medical examiner's office, said Tuesday DNA confirmed the remains to be Thomas Billy Lee Tillery. We just called him Thomas. The child was reported missing by his mother, Reba, on September 19, 1994. At the time, Madill police entered the missing child into the National Center for the Missing and Endangered Children. Flyers were distributed, and police said several sightings were reported. None of them ever led to any finding the son or anything. Three months later, portions of the skull, like I said, were discovered at this rural Dixon home in the yard. Residents there are few houses, very few houses. At the time, I think there was 3, they said. But efforts to identify the remains at that time were unsuccessful. A year later, an anthropologist determined the skull to belong to a young Caucasian, possibly 13 or 14 years old, with short brown hair. However, Ballard said at the time it was impossible to determine if the remains were those of a boy or a girl. The case remained unsolved until April 2010, when Carter County Deputy Rick Batt said he was contacted by medical examiner investigator Leroy Johnson and asked to reopen the case. Batt, who is assigned to work cold cases by Sheriff Ken Grace, said that his first priority was researching the original case. I found out then, Deputy, it's a Banner, I think is what he said, Burton, worked the case, and there were extensive search over 1 square mile by deputies and Ardmore police. Seems like that they would have gone farther than 1 square mile to look for his remains. And he left on his bicycle, so that was never recovered either. But nothing else was remains of the remains were found. Several leads were followed at the time, but none of them panned out. Then in 1995, based on the anthropologist's report, a reconstruction was done, but it looked nothing like any missing persons they had info on. And the case basically died, Batt said. That's not very far from you. To do a composite, I'm sorry. With no new leads or information to follow, Batt turned his attention to other methods he believed that could help. and he wanted it to lead to identifying the remains. I was at a board meeting of the Oklahoma Division of the International Association for Identification, and I asked Detective Sergeant Tracy Shimmer from Norman, Oklahoma, if she would take a look, and she is also a trained in forensic. She's a forensic artist, and if she would be willing, to take a look at it and see if she can do a sketch for him. She agreed to do that. Bat said what she produced was a likeness that was very similar to Thomas Tillery. Then I sent her an actual photo of Thomas, and she did a skeletal overlay. It matched. I really give her a lot of the credit for this identification. The last piece of the puzzle that led to positive identification was at the University of North Texas Center for Human Identification, where DNA testing confirmed the child missing for more than 16 years had been found. I'm sorry. I get kind of choked up over it. After all these years, it seems like that, it wouldn't be so bad. But it is. Thomas's mother, Reba Williams. Goodness. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to get so choked up. She now resides in California and was notified Friday by the National Center for Missing and Endangered Children. And I want, this wasn't in the article or anything. This is just personal information that I know. 2 weeks after Thomas came up missing, his apartment that he lived in with his mother and his stepfather just miraculously just burnt to the ground. And his mother left for California with the boyfriend. So that was like 2 weeks after. And the boyfriend is not in this country legal, I think. My opinion, I'm pretty sure. Well, I am sure he's illegal. But and they had a hard time getting a hold of them after his skull was identified, to even discuss the case with them any further. Then it goes on to say, it says, the positive identification, Ballard said, is part of an ongoing project called Oklahoma Project Search for the Missing. Oh my God. Sorry. But Bat said that's where it will be. He said the case is not over. He has very few leads to go on, and he has a lot of questions that remain still unanswered. He wants to know what happened to Thomas on that short ride from his Talafaro Drive home residence or home to the grocery store where he was supposed to buy milk. And then he was supposed to come straight home. And why were the portions of the child's skull discarded in the Wool Dixon? It's an old cut through back road that we used to go from my town to the next big town over, and we cut through this little bitty community that had one store, and it was a back way to go. And my sister actually built her new house out there, and Darwood Drive, that's where she lived. And that's how I know of the road, is because we used to go to visit my sister on it, but we would go on to Ardmore through there. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of rundown of what the kids did and what was going on at the time. Now, the detective did tell me today that there is no way to determine the cause of death or manner of death. And there are no suspects in the case. And the reason there is no suspect, it was never classified as anything other than a missing child, he said. Hopefully now someone will come forward. And I have a problem with that. What? It was never classified as anything other than a missing child. Shouldn't that be important? I mean, shouldn't that be high on the priority list? And the week before, it had come to our attention that Thomas was being abused by somebody. Someone was hitting on him. And I tried to talk to his mom. I went to the school. And we talked to the police department. And they just seemed like that they saw Thomas as a problem child, and no one seemed to want to address it. And so I was really a lot more fired up. I get a lot more fired up back then than I do now. But I just threw all kinds of fits. And then, well, I knew where Thomas was every day because I started keeping him at my house from after school until after dark. And then I would follow him home because he rode his bicycle a lot, or I would take him home when he walked. And we didn't live that far. I would say on the same street. We lived on the same street, and we probably lived 5 blocks away. And I look back now, and I don't even think that grocery store was open at the time that she sent him to buy a gallon of milk. Because I run across that in an article today, and she told us that she sent him to a Love's, which is open 24 hours, to buy the milk, not to this grocery store. And then today I read an article that she sent him to the grocery store there, and I think they closed a lot earlier than that. I'm going to check into it, though. But the boys had known a lot more than what us parents did. They were trying to keep it hidden from the parents. And Sean told the boys that my mom, you can't hide things from my mom because she figures things out. She's already asking Thomas questions about his black eye. And then he come up with another one, 3 days later, and now he has 2, and she's wanting to know what's going on. And the way that I met Thomas, I got to tell you this, it's really a funny story. he would ride his bicycle around town, all around town. And we had just moved back to my hometown from Texas. And there's this little boy just all hours, just riding all over town. And so one day, my oldest son was out there outside, and my youngest son went out there, and here come my youngest son, and he goes, Sean's been shot. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I ran out there, and Thomas had shot my oldest son with a pellet gun. And so I grabbed him by the ear, and I took the gun away from him, and I said, get in my car, I'm going to talk to your mother. And we got down to his house, and he was reluctant to go in, did not. I said, come on, Thomas, we're going in. You're not getting out of it. We're going in. And you're going to be punished for this because that's dangerous. And he opened the door, and I walked in, and his mother was in the middle of the floor, passed out. Beer cans everywhere. I'd never seen anything like it in my life, and could not wake her up whatsoever. And I just took him back to my house, and he stayed all night with my son that first time, and they were best friends after that. And he never did anything like that again. And he was a really good kid that just had no one to care about him. And it was just so sad. But the kids had an elaborate plan. Thomas was going to run away, and they were going to put him up in the woods in a shack, and the kids were going to, keep him warm and take him food, and he would survive like that for as long as need be. And they had it all planned out. And Thomas come up missing before they could carry it out. And so they told me the story that they had a plan, to get Thomas out of that environment their way. And I said, well, you think he's down? We went and looked for him everywhere. And after, 5 days went by, the boys said, no, he needs us. We had a plan, and he would not, do it without us. There's just no way he couldn't. And I was like, I cannot believe that y'all planned this. And I said, you cannot do something like this. And he goes, well, we should have done it sooner, because now look where he's at. And the boys looked, we passed out flowers and everything. His family never even come to my house and asked not one question. Nothing. He left my house that night right at dark. They never even come and asked me. The police never even asked me not one thing, nothing. They didn't even come to us and ask, would we like to pass out the flowers? Nothing. Not one word. And I was nosy, and I was like all over it. And they wouldn't give me any information, and they act like that I was putting them out. Totally putting them out. And they said that I need to let them do their job. Well, come to find out, after I spoke with the gentleman today, that police department there has never communicated with him. He has reached out to them and tried to get them to even send the file where they did their investigation. And they said that they will, and they never have. And he said he calls them all the, trying to get that file, and they said they will pass him around, and it's just ridiculous. They didn't do any work on it. That's why. They don't want anybody to have a file because they didn't do anything. And I know they didn't, or they would have come and talked to Sean, which is his best friend. That's just all there is to it. And I just cannot fathom it being, if it had been my child. Um, but I mean, at first, that we were kind of like giggling and stuff about it. Me and the boys were all in the car. I had them, and because they thought that he was going to turn up. They really did believe that he would turn up. And after 5 days, Sean goes, Mom, something's wrong. Thomas really is gone. He's really missing. And I was like, I said, Sean, I said, are you serious? I said, you boys do not know where he's at. And they said, no, we do not. And those kids would not even sleep. They looked for him and looked for him. And Sean just never got over it. Never got over it. And I had nightmares. I remember having nightmares of my son coming up missing. And I wasn't able to find him. And I just bought him this new pair of Nike shoes, and I took them and threw them in the trash because that's all I found of my child, and I threw them in the trash. I said, I'm not even going to go there. You're not wearing these shoes no more. But it just stuck with me. And I have called and checked on it every 2 or 3 years, and nothing has developed. Nothing. And the police officer said that him trying to get the other town to help out and give him the information he needs to maybe move forward, and nothing. He said he doesn't have any of the teachers' names. He doesn't have any of the parents' names. And so I'm getting all that information together for him, and I'm going to get it to him. And my son, when we moved here to Oklahoma City, we walked into a convenience store, and Thomas's picture was on the front of the counter. And he goes, oh my gosh, Mom. He goes, do you think that they will ever find him? And I said, I don't know, Sean. I said, I don't know. We can only hope. And 3 days later, they had a breaking news story that said that he was identified. But they would have had a much better chance because he was found close to Christmas time, 2 months after he came up missing. And at first they tried to, the first time I called, they tried to say, well, did you hear that about a serial killer that came through, our town? And I'm like, no. I said, if there was a serial killer, wouldn't you inform the parents so they could take care of their children? I said, I was really upset. The more I thought about it, the more upset I got. And to think there was a serial killer that close and that could have nabbed my child. But now that we put two and two together, we went to the police and told them exactly who did it when it happened. We told them who did it. They didn't even ask not one question to that man. And then their apartments burnt down, and that didn't raise suspicion either. And so they did nothing. Well, my relative is the sheriff there now, and when I go home 2 days, I'm going to demand some answers. I'm going to find out what's going on, and I want to know where they're at in the investigation. I want to know. I want to see the file, not inside of it, but I want to see how thick it is. I really do, because I can guarantee my file's thicker than theirs. But that is where we are now. There's just nothing. His bicycle wasn't found, clothing wasn't found, the rest of his body wasn't found. Nothing at all. And he was a sweet kid. He was really a sweet kid. So, 411 now. What about the state police? They should have a record of the case. Someone had to report it to the National Center for Missing and Exploited. Yeah, well, they said, from what I read, the police department there in that town was they're the ones that reported him missing. See, that's what they did. They said that that's all that they had listed as what they did as part of their job trying to find him, they sent a photo of him to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And that's all they said they did. And that's all they did. I guarantee it. Well, that's all. I know that's all they did. They didn't question anybody. They didn't do anything. I know they didn't do anything. And when we went down there trying to give them information, they act like that we were nuts. Why were we even bothering them? Let them do their job. So they didn't even take any information in order to have any leads to even know what direction to go in. You know, they didn't even ask the boys about their plan, you know, that they were fixing to get him out of that house. But back then in 1994, people were still staying pretty quiet about abuse. And I know it's hard to believe, but they did. And I had never, well, my mom was a foster parent, and so I was around children that was abused, but it was outside my town. Yes, he is listed on the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Yes, he is. Yes. That's where I got the picture to put side by side. One was from the medical examiner's office, and the one was from that site. And I could put those side by side. So, yes, he was, and he's also a part of that Oklahoma. That it's a new thing that they have out. It is the Oklahoma Project research for missing and exploited endangered kids. He's also a part of that. But with the case being open, I can't, there's nothing public record. They said that there was nothing that they could give me as far as anything in the case files or any information that they have. I can tell them information, they can say yay or nay. But and he told me to, you know, investigate it. That I probably have more inside information than anybody else does, so I can get the information that others can't. If I can track his mother down, I'm going to. I am on that. I started this afternoon. And the boyfriend's name, I had never even heard of what his name was, ever. It is not listed in anything that I could find, any of my notes. Sean, my son, didn't know it. He's like just, I don't know, like this phantom, but I never saw him. I knew that he was, that he didn't speak English, and that that he had just arrived from Mexico in 1994. So, and his mother was not with him very long, but she was with him up until 16 years later. She was still with him. So, and in California, she could be anywhere. But I'm going to try to find her. I really am. I'm going to try to find her because they're hoping that she'll come forward. If they said that a family member did call them wanting information, and the family member did say that she was no longer with this gentleman. Yes, yeah, yes, you can look it up. It's let's see, it's Thomas Billy Lee Tillery, and let's see. I used to have his birthday, but I just can't remember right now. Let me see. I got it down here. They entered it in on the 20th of September, 1994. It was like after midnight, so it made that the 20th. That's when they entered it into the system. And, you know, from what I gathered when I read the article today, that the anthropologist got in contact with the detective and asked to reopen the case. What did they mean, reopen the case? Wasn't it always open? Hasn't it always been open? And the detective there in that town they found the skull in that little town, but that's all that they had to go on. And he did so much to get Thomas identified. Otherwise, if he hadn't done the things that he did, this child we would never even know if he was. We would always wonder, I think, if he was dead or alive. I would know, but in the back of your mind, you would hope that he was somewhere. And but this detective really went far beyond anything that I ever would have expected. And he did it. He got him identified with and it wasn't even the whole skull. It was just part of it. But I mean, just with the things that went down, the way that they went down, I know who's responsible. And will he ever be brought to justice? Maybe not. But I would hope that his mom would love him enough to come forward and at least tell what happened. You know, at least. Or somebody will come forward. I mean, I just know that the case died. When that apartment burnt, that the case just totally died. And I just don't believe that they're going to take one child from a little bitty small town when there is tons of kids that run the streets on a daily basis at night and on their bicycles. And the grocery store, if he was going to the grocery store there, that grocery store is 2 blocks away from his house. And it was 5 blocks away from my house. And you don't even have to cross a road. You know, 1 yard, you leave 1 yard and it goes into the grocery store parking lot. But it's not, the sidewalk that goes into the front door is right there. You don't even have to be in the parking lot. So for them to say that little bitty town, you know, there's just too much talk. Everybody knows everything about everybody. And if it was anything but what we think it is, other kids would have come up missing, or the rumor would have got around to us that you know, this is what happened. Nothing. And the streets, it's so funny because the streets, they fold up there at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. They fold up. And if you go to town, you're going to get stopped by the police, period. So nobody come drifting through that town, you know, at 9:30 at night ever. It was a ghost town. Nobody came to that town, and nobody come through that town. You could not make it. Oh my gosh, you could not make it a block into town without getting stopped by the police. That's what a sleepy town this is. If you've had to go to the store or you're on your way home from work, they will even stop you, even if they know you, and want to know what you're doing out that time of night. So, yeah, somebody would have seen something. The police, they sat right there. They hung out at Love's. They hung out at Love's, and Love's is right across the street from that grocery store. And they hung out there, and it was the workers and the police. And they just can't tell me if this child just up and disappeared like this, and someone took him. And where they took him, Dixon is the closest secluded place that will, what do I want to say, that disconnects you from the county that we lived in. The isolated places are the same county of the surrounding, because it's by the lake, and it's a lot of woods and stuff like that. But he was found in the nearest place he could have been found in another county over. And we know who did it. I know who did it. We do. And especially when I got everything out, the scrapbook that I have and all that stuff, and I went over all my notes and went over everything that I know about it, and I am more than convinced now. So I'm going to try to contact the mom, and I'm going to try to do something about it. I'm going to try to talk to her. I don't know. I'm going to try to do something. I don't know what. But if it was my child and I would want somebody to care about him. I'm going to get Thomas a burial plot because from what I gather, the family, I don't know how to even put this lightly, Thomas was just discarded. And so I'm going to get a burial plot, and I'm going to get a headstone just so that he'll have a marker somewhere. And I'm going to take care of that within the next week or so. I'm going to check into it when I go down there in a couple of days and see what I need to do. And I'm going to get all the boys together and, see if they want to have some kind of memorial for him. Because it was all a little group of boys, and they are all still around. So I'm going to do that for him just because. I feel guilty. I should have done more. I really should have done more. And I didn't. But I should have. It just happened so fast. It was just so fast, And the boys, they thought they had it under control, They really did. They really believed that. But that's where, they're hoping that somebody will come forward with, some information. But I just don't really think that there's any information, out there. It's a brick wall, It really is a brick wall. I know in my heart, I can feel it. I can feel it in my heart. Today, I never was 100% sure, but I felt something in my heart today, and I am almost positive that brick wall ends with those parents. And I just don't think there's anywhere else that anyone needs to look. That's why it hasn't gone anywhere, because it didn't need to go any farther than his front door, And any mother, I just don't understand these mothers. How can these mothers allow these boyfriends to kill their children, or even to hurt them, beat them up? I just don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. I mean, it might happen one time um, to my child or my grandkids now, but I guarantee it wouldn't happen again. And the person that did it wouldn't be walking around, would not be walking. They wouldn't have another chance to do it to anybody else. And I wouldn't care. But these parents, I just don't see how that. And mothers, they don't have any love for their children the way that it should. You know, the love that they should have. And I'm just it's so sad. Is Cement still in here? Are you still listening? But hopefully, tomorrow I'm gonna, I got the legal names today of the parents. I'm gonna try to find his real father. I'm going to try to do that, and he will have some knowledge of how I can track the family down. So I'm going to get on that in the morning, and I'm just going to do that for a couple hours tomorrow because I've got some other stuff that I've got going on. Oh, good. Okay. I'm glad. Me and Cement, my last live was in here by ourselves. It was me and him. And he stuck in there with me though. But oh, thank you, Will. I know. Yeah, I just don't feel like that I did everything that I could, Will. I try not to beat myself up. I mean, I try not to. I just start crying because it's just so tender, And I sit and I told that detective today, I started to say to him today, I would want someone, if that was my child, to care. And I said, I forgot how I put it. I said, I would want someone, gosh, to think about my child years and years after they were gone. And if I was no longer here, I would want someone to pick it up and to keep at it if it hadn't been solved. And so I just feel that I should have done more because but we had just everything. I don't know, I just can't explain it. I was cracking you up with Chris Watts jokes. Yes, I know. I couldn't believe how funny you are. You are really funny. And that tomorrow night, I'm so happy with my Chris Watts thing that I'm going live tomorrow night because I'm going to revisit the Chris Watts case. It's probably going to be in 2 parts, but guys, I have got it figured out. I know what happened. I know. I just got it figured out. And I'm going to do these 2 parts, and then I'm going to lay the Watts case to rest. Because I'm satisfied that I don't have any more questions. I don't have not one. So, toilet head was old toilet head. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was. We did. After that, I had to back up from the Watts case because it was driving me nuts. After I went live that night, somebody made me insane. I wanted to rip their head off for talking bad about Shanann again. And, you know, and I am very proud of you, Will, for standing up, going up there and standing up, you know. I want it to be an open panel tomorrow. You don't have to come on camera. Would you be willing to, Cement? And Will, would you? A troll. Apparently, it pisses some people off. What, your theory? Why? Why would it make anybody mad? But I was really proud of you, Will. I mean, for standing up. Man, I've been wanting to do that. You don't have to go on camera. Just your voice. You don't have to go on camera. Yeah, you can just have the audio on. Yeah, that'd be so cool. Would you do it, Will? Would you be interested? You just are so smart about the case. When I go for facts, I go to you. If I want to throw something in somebody's face, I go to you. Oh, you do? Really? Well, you know what? I used to believe that for a very long time. I did. Very long time I did. I really believed that she did. Because I could not see him doing it. Or Shanann. I just couldn't see it. And there for a little while I thought that she had help, but I thought that she killed Shanann and the girls. Because he just didn't have enough knowledge of it to my liking. But he does. They said that he had a memory like an elephant. So you know he remembers every little detail there ever was. He sure does. That man sure does. He remembers everything about their conversation. He said he didn't. He remembers it all. He sure does. But I am just, but I mean, it should, just because you believe that she did that, it should not piss people off. I mean, you're respectful with it, and you're not getting up there and saying that it's Shanann did it and Shanann caused it and it's all Shanann's fault and blah blah blah. Yeah, he was a wussy. Yeah. She really pushed him. She pushed him. And Will, I mean, oh my gosh, he knows so many ins and outs of the case that if I ever need any accurate information, I can just go to, because I've watched all of his videos and his lives, and I know which one to go to get the information I need. And there came a time the other day that I needed it to pull it out, and I was able to. And it was really funny because the person can you hear me still? Okay. The person that I gave them, I rebutted some information. They were trying to say that with some information that Will had given me. I mean, he had put it on his one of his videos, and I just jotted it down. And it shut them up. It really did. It shut their mouths up. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'll see ya. But I really love the way that Will does things. He's so calm, and he keeps things to where that I can. I know. I just all of a sudden I just was not in the live stream anymore. He keeps everything like on it organized to where that it's not hard to find something if you want an answer. And so anytime that there's any information I need, I go and see if Will has a video on that from way back when, because that's where I get my best information, because there's no crap in there with it. There's no he said, she said, or this might could happen, or that might could have happened. He gives you the facts. He gives you the facts, and then he lets you determine from what's on paper and what, the facts really are that's been proven, and then you can decide for yourself. So, but that panel that you went up on, I was really impressed with that, Will. I didn't have no idea that they were talking about you. Had no idea. None whatsoever. I was in the kitchen cooking, and I'm like, who is that voice? I've heard that voice before. And I was like, oh my God, that's Will. Okay, I know who that is. You're welcome. You do try your best, and I love it. And I love the Saturday night. I love that you just you just let your hair down and you're yourself. You are not you don't try to pretend to be anything that you're not. And you don't put on this big show, and you don't try to hide you don't try to hide your family life and things that are going on with you from us, the ones that subscribe to you. You just tell things. You're just you. And I don't understand what these people think that there's something wrong with just being who you want to be and doing what you want on your channel. I just don't understand that. Why do they think they put on this event? I don't know. I guess it's for views and money and all that stuff, I guess you could say. But I want to grow my channel, and I would like someday to make some money. But until then, I'll just keep on doing this. I love Saturday Night Lives, especially with Tim. Yes, I love that too. I love Tim. Oh, I know. And when Will was on that Saturday night on Cece's, I thought he was going to give those ladies a heart attack. Him and Tim. It was funny. He was in the background singing. It was so funny. Oh, I laughed so hard. It was amazing. But life is way too short to be fake. People either love me or don't know me yet. You're right. So that means that everybody that knows you loves you, Will. Does who is that? Does CK? Does CK love you? I don't know. Oh yeah, Best is by. Okay. People want to hear your voice and take on things from your eyes and ears. Yeah. Well, my lives are going to be. I'm going to be on camera. I am, but just because my eye is so swollen, and I just cannot. Can't put makeup on it yet, so nope. I'm not going live until I can put makeup on that eye. Tomorrow night, I think I will be able to. I really do. I was almost there today, and I just thought I better keep it off one more day, to be safe. So, but tomorrow night, I'm going on camera. But cement shoes, you don't have to. You didn't get to see what? Really? On Cece's channel when he went on there on the panel? You need to go back and see that replay. That was funny. It really was funny. I just think about it now, and I laugh now. Yeah, Will's hilarious. He is something else. And then this last Saturday Night Live on his channel, that was even funnier. That was really funnier. And except I did get a little sad, Will. I don't know if you cut off or what happened. You go, you said something along the things that you don't think that you did, that you're very good at that. Was you talking about your YouTube? It was just sad to hear you say something like that. You don't think that you were very good at that. And I took it as the YouTube thing. And I was like, oh, he's the last person that ever wanted to say anything like that, because he is good. But it was one of those moments, I think, that you were just, I get all mushy, and he was on, oh, you mean the CK, because I won't say her name out loud. Just because she gets enough publicity as it is. Thank you, Cement. Yeah, yeah, he was on Cece's panel, and that was funny. And then then next week he was on his thing, and then he was on CK's. I heard him on CK's panel with I don't even think who was that. Lewis, was that who it was? Critical. You don't know, really? Okay, we'll tell him. You put it in chat. Because I don't even know if you want. I open my big mouth sometimes and insert my foot. I've been dying to get on her panel. I want on that panel so bad. I'm an extremely humble man. Yes, I was talking about the YouTube. I want to always improve what I'm doing, but I feel I fall short of my goals. Don't take it all. Oh, I didn't. That's what I thought that you meant. I could tell. Yeah, because with you, it's like straightforward. I know you feel like that you fall short from your goals, but standing back, looking from the outside in, you are doing a wonderful job. Not only, like on YouTube, but you're a great dad. You can tell that you're a wonderful dad and a good husband. Your wife is very lucky. Yes, you're a good husband and a father, and you've got a little bitty tiny baby, and then you've got grown kids. More power to you. Oh, more power to you. I would, could not do that. Not over again. I just don't even know how you do that. But I have more patience now, though. I'd probably be better at it this time around than I was. But I kind of grew up with my kids because I had mine so young. But you do a good job, and you do. Your content is like I said, that's where I go to get the truth. I mean, I can, and when I get on your channel, I know you're telling the truth, and I know you're not putting any bull crap in there. I know what you're telling me is straight up, and you're not letting your emotions and your anything else interfere with the facts that you're telling us, and I respect that so much. And even the best of channels and the people that I know in my heart is good, they let their emotions carry them away sometimes, and so that causes people to stretch things or to color code them to where that it leans towards their way a little bit more. And I know with you, I don't have to worry about that. People, I can usually figure people out pretty well because I did go to college for a very long time. I was going to be a I was going to be a criminal psychologist, and I don't know. I started. My mom got some really troubled kids, or some really little kids that had been severely abused, and I could sit down and communicate with them. So I thought maybe I would start there when the kids were little, and maybe they wouldn't turn into being criminals. Silly, I know. But then I did my internship. I have like 8 hours left. I did my internship, and I saw the damage that abuse can do. And then I seen how messed up our CPS system is. And I would come home throwing up every night, couldn't sleep, and I just didn't go back one day. So, okay, okay, thank you, Smith. Let's see. You don't fall short, but it's because you're humble. Oh. Yeah, being a big head gets you nowhere. And everyone ends up hating you. Yes, yes. And I think there is far too many, let's see, good channels that are creeping up on that, letting it go to their head and thinking there's something that, thinking that there's something bigger than what they are. And that really interferes with people's ability to look at you in the same light, I guess you would say. Because like critical, she wears that crown, and I just can't believe that. What is that? What is the crown thing? And I mean, I don't understand that stuff. I just don't go there. It just doesn't make sense to me, but to each its own. It's just like I said, I had to step back the other day and take a different look at her. It's her channel. She can do whatever she wants. She's the one that's going to have to answer for it somewhere down the road. She will. And I feel sad because that day will come. And I just I'm not going to let it get to me to where I'm up there just, every day and doing the drama thing. I don't want to do the drama, and I don't want to do all that stuff. I just want everybody to feel comfortable and to know that if they, need anything, they can, feel comfortable coming here and they can be themselves, uh, I was told that I could not be myself because I had a big mouth if I wanted to stay somewhere. So I'm not ever going to do anybody like that. Not ever. Not ever, ever, ever. And not a big mouth because I told something I shouldn't have. A big mouth because I talk too much. So I thought, well, okay, I have to start my own channel because I have to talk to somebody. It makes them see things through ruby lenses. Is what you're trying to say? Yes. Yes, I guess so. Yeah, it is. Um, my feelings got really, 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 really bad hurt. And I have not gotten over that. And I made a promise that I would never, ever, ever, if possible, hurt anybody, like that. Ever. Make them feel like that I felt. Not ever. And I mean, everybody should be entitled to, be who they are. And it's fine if you don't like them. But you can go about it different ways. Don't hurt people so bad. That's just the way I see it. That you can handle it differently. But just like I even when this the tiara. I just saying the channel's names, but when she took that turn and apologized for treating Shanann the way she did, and she did that about face and changed the way she was and the way she was doing, oh my gosh, I got on there and said that, I had a newfound respect for her for getting up there and apologizing and doing things this way. So I went and I subscribed to her again because of it. And then when this documentary came out and she flipped again and did the same thing, I'm staying subscribed to her just to get on the panel one time. One time. But I have to do it to where I do not get timed out. Or called a peasant. But I just want to get up there one time. I have got a whole list of questions I have for her, and I have somebody had a whole list of things that they said that they thought, or that it was fact. They said that they were checking off. I have proof of this, proof of that, and I want to know where their proof is because I'm going to have it right in front of me. Because I know every one of the questions, and you help me out with that too, Will. I got to ask you a couple more things too about that. But they just come up with, they don't even never show proof. What is that? I can't deal with drama either. I can't keep up with it. I mean, and the lies, you don't know whose side to take. I said, that's why I'm staying right in the middle. Because I don't want somebody saying, well, okay, like the incident, if you go up there, like there was a person that was up there and they were taking up for Shanann. And he was by himself up there taking up for her. And this other person on the channel found out he was up there on the panel, and they said that he must be friends with them because he was up there on her panel, and that and then went over the what horrible things and what a horrible person that he is now, and just talking about him like a horrible human, and he's just trying to he was just trying to be who he is, he got up there and he fought back and forth with her about Shanann, and he doesn't agree about any of that, but there's some things that he does agree, they do have in common. And just like and there is to two things that I agree with her totally on. And so, but I'm not going to be, besties or anything, but, and he's starting to develop himself, develop his channel. And he stood his ground, and he wasn't afraid of this other creator either. He stood his ground and he took up for himself. And he's not letting her bully him. And I was very impressed with that. Where do people think that they will spend eternity if they really trashing a murder? Exactly. You said it. That's what I said. I said that I would be afraid. I would go and get some counseling or get some to fix my heart if it saw things like that. Because I would be afraid because nobody knows what happens after we die. I would be very afraid if I were them. I would be scared to death to die, knowing that what I've done to trash innocent people or treat people horribly or stomp on people or didn't ask for forgiveness. I mean, just I would be afraid, really afraid. And I'm afraid now, and every day I try to be the best person I can be. I used to be really mean. I was a mean and ugly person because I felt like that I had just been given a raw end of the deal, But not anymore. I don't think that way. I do not think that way anymore. And I am just so thankful that my heart has been it has been given a second chance. I know that. I do know that. So I no longer, look on, oh, woe is me, look what happened to me. And because that's not even, shouldn't be a part of, it shouldn't be a part of what makes us who we are. And I know that abuse and a lot of things, it does develop you into who you are. I do understand that. But you can choose to let it or you can choose to not. I do believe that. I know that. So I know Will don't have very much drama on his channel. He doesn't. I think that y'all have gotten so comfortable. His moderators over there, because there's very few trolls or anything that comes on there. So y'all don't really have to, kick people out and be mean, and do all that stuff. and that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Because I don't understand about these trolls either. So I don't. But tomorrow night I do. Y'all got to come on. Will, would you be able to? Would you be willing to come on the panel with me? This is a big deal to me. Oh. No, trolls don't. But something I did find out. There's some people that I thought that were just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. And I found out that they were going around trolling people. And that made me wonder where the trolls come from. Because if they're doing it, then there's a lot of people from other channels coming over and trolling just to give their creator, what, information that's going to do what? Hurt somebody else. If I do good, I do good because I did it One person at a time. Right. Right, Cement. And now I have two. See? I'm getting better. Right? But tomorrow night is going. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But it seems like that they're afraid to bring drama on your channel, Will. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's cool, Will. Cement should come up there with me, just his voice, because I would really like to hear his theory about the Watts case. That would really be interesting. I would really like that. If you want to, Cement, you're very welcome. I would really like for you to. But I want you to come and listen to my theory. Really. I use my book smart, everything that I had to figure this out, and I couldn't. Didn't make sense. I stepped back and went, everybody's dissecting it too much. And it's a lot simpler than what anybody even thinks. So much simpler. And not everybody has to agree with me, and that's okay. I'm just proud. I'm just proud because I do not have it like, you know what I mean, going over and over in your brain trying to figure out what went wrong and this. I don't have that going on anymore, and I'm just so proud of it. So, but I hope that you come tomorrow night, and y'all, I appreciate y'all being here. I really do. Will, I thank you deeply for taking the time out to come over here and be with me. And Cement, thank you because you're here every time for me. You are just so wonderful. You missed the Halloween one, but you haven't missed one since, and that means a lot. It does. So I'm gonna do the Watts case, and then I am doing one on the election. It's going to be 8:30 Central Time. I am Central Time, I think. Yeah, 8:30 Central Time tomorrow night. Is that good? Is that good for y'all? Is it good for you, Will? Really? Halloween is? On, like, your wedding anniversary or your what? Or being on YouTube? I've been on YouTube. I mean, like, let's see. I started watching Cece's channel for like 2 days now. I went over to Will's channel, and then I went back and forth with those. I just don't have time to go and visit all of those channels that all of these people are talking about and have all that information on, and they watch it for a very, very long time. Very long time. I mean, it's like, and they just go on and on and on. But it seems like drama gets them views and gets them, I don't know, the watch times and all that, I guess. But I don't want to do the drama thing. I just want to go up there on Critical K's panel one time. Not wedding. Oh, when you met your girlfriend. Okay, cool. You met her on Halloween? Oh, wow. I bet that was something. Halloween is my favorite time of the year. It was my mother's, too. My mother used to have Halloween parties like you wouldn't believe. She would have 150 kids there. It was amazing. She pulled out all the stops. We had Bobby for Apples at every haunted house, and she went and rented the most scariest place for a haunted house you wouldn't ever believe in a million years. You just wouldn't believe some of them. It was amazing. My mom was amazing. And she would test the haunted house out on me. And if I was scared, then it was okay. Then she could go ahead with it and put it up for everybody else to go through. Yeah, because I was hard to scare. And one year, I tore her haunted house up getting out of there and would not go back in it. And she laughed at me forever and ever over that. She loved to scare us kids, though. She did. She just loved to scare us. She got a big kick out of that. I just don't know what it was, but she got something out of it. But she wasn't able to have kids. We were adopted, all of us. All three girls were adopted. And she was a youth. She was the youth leader at church, and my dad was a pastor. And the young people, loved my mother. I mean, she had kids flocking around her all the time. And she was a rough woman, too. I mean, she would sock you in the nose before you could even blink. If you was doing something inappropriate or whatever, she would get you. But the kids just loved her to death. Just loved her to death. And she was a foster parent, too. So, and she really made a difference to me, I tell you. She did. And she made me the way that I am now, I guess. I'm a lot different than my real siblings. I know that. So she made me this way, I guess. But, well, my husband's, his best friend's wedding anniversary is Halloween. That's their favorite time of year, so. I used to take all the neighbor kids trick-or-treating, too, after my kids left home. I would go and gather up all the neighborhood kids and take them all, go and get them costumes, and we would take them trick-or-treating. And my husband would dress up, and I would dress up. And we would take them to, there is a neighborhood here in Oklahoma City that was designed using Lord of the Rings. And it is a upscale, ritzy mansions, and it's gated, and they have haunted houses and all kinds of things. And we used to take the kids there because my husband used to of the stream for me. What? My internet is cutting out. So this thing. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Will. Thank you for being here. Love you. Thank you so much. And I'm glad that, you have given me the base that I want to have for my channel. No matter what anybody says. Love you. You have a good night. Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh, it is a cool place. See, man, you just wouldn't believe in the people that they dress up, because they all have a lot of money, And my husband, he was a manager of a furniture store for a very long time, and it was all high-end furniture. And like Toby Keith, he did the furniture for Toby Keith and Drew Brom and all those. And he doesn't he still does it, but he only does it like 3 or 4 days a week now, according to how, when they need him. But, and he delivered there, and he did a lot of business with those people in there. That's how we found out about this place. And we took the kids, there was these little Mexican kids that I took care of. They were my next door neighbors, and we took all of them. And we just went in that neighborhood, and they had so much candy. It was unbelievable. Those kids had never seen so much candy in all their lives. They never seen a neighborhood like that. and all the houses were just spooky outside and inside, and the people were all spooky. It was just amazing. I'll have to take some pictures one year and put them up and let people see them, or take a video. But I appreciate you being here, Cement, very much so. I do, and I hope you come tomorrow. And you, there was a guy that made Toby Keith a coffee table, and they did it out of refurbished wood and those railroad beams, and they made it shaped into a guitar. And my husband had to deliver it, and because he does delicate stuff like that, and yeah, it had to be taken apart and placed a certain way and put back together, and it was heavy. It was really heavy. And he's delivered several things to Toby Keith. So, but that was one of the coolest things he said that he ever saw, is the guitar that was made. And it was made by hand. And so it was really cool. But think about it. Think about coming up here. You don't have to come on camera. You don't have to show your face. You can just, have your voice. And you can give your take on the Watts case. I would love that. And I'll give my take. I can't wait. I'm just so excited. I wanted to do it tonight, but the investigator got back with me today, and so I had to do Thomas. I was thinking about him a lot today, so I had to do him. And then, so I'm going to do the Watts case tomorrow. And plus, I still needed to take some more notes on the Watts case. And I got caught up listening to Will on that panel. So, I am really excited about the Watts thing. But think about it. Come up on panel with me if you want. I'd really like that. And that would be your, what do you call that, charitable donation for the year. Coming up with me. But I appreciate you being here. I really do. You in 411 now. Y'all are always here. But I've been getting pretty good views on my like the last one I did. I got some quite a few views, and then my Halloween show just really took off. I mean, it really did do well. It did. I was horrible, and it did really well. I'm just proud of any of it I get, So, but thank you for being here again. And I'm not here by myself. And you and Will. But I appreciate it so much. And I guess I'm going to get off now. And tomorrow night, 8:30 Central Time. So, you need to be here for that. Because I really want to tell you what I think. It's really cool. There's a lot of people that's not going to like what I have to say either. But they'll have to watch it in my replay. All right. Thank you for being here. You have a good night. Tell your girlfriend that I said thank you for lending you to me, and thank you very much. Tell her that she's lucky. You have a good night. Pray for me that everything works out good tomorrow and I don't have all the sound stuff and all this crap going on. That it goes smoother. But thank you very much. And I'll be on camera tomorrow night. I will. I'm going to be on camera. So, all right. Love you. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow if you come in then. All right. Good night, everybody.